Hello ladies and gentlemen, today I have a roster review for you guys, and today we're going to be reviewing Rbunns. This is a follower of mine for quite a while, but now, and I will probably refer to him during this video as Bunsy, just because that's his nickname, that's what he goes by in our Discord servers. So, Bunsy, what do we got for you today? He has requested a few teams to look into their modding, and some of them, I've already looked at these teams, some of them are really good, and some of them not so much. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Listen, actually, what I want to do before I look into some of his key teams is I looked over his GAC history, and it was actually really good. He's got a solid attack strategy. Defense is really lacking. I would suggest putting one of your meta teams on defense, a really, really strong meta team on defense that a lot of people underestimate that you could probably get away with in the front wall is actually a Finn team. A normal Finn team with the Resistance Hero brothers. People just look at it, they see the Finn lead, they assume it's garbage, and they throw something really weak and to get you a hold. And those 20 banners that you get from the hold are enough for you to win as long as you can get the full clear. So I would suggest that for GAC history. The defense needs to be a little bit stronger than it currently is. And another thing that you really, really need to have that I'm seeing a hole in your roster is Wat Tambor. You have him unlocked, which is great. 4 stars is awesome, but you need to get his gear up. And I know you're working really, really hard on Ray right now, getting all the requirements ready for Ray. But this guy revolutionizes almost every single team in the game. It's very important for him to be geared. I saw you had a match that used Bounty Hunters against Night Sisters and it didn't work. If you had him to prevent the revives, it probably would have worked. And also your GG is getting beat on defense by Padmes, and he would prevent that if he had a little bit more gear. So as far as GAC goes, go a little bit heavier on defense, maybe place that Finn and Resistance Hero team, and work on Wat Tambor. Like I said, I know you're working on Ray, I know you're getting those Resistance characters out, but at the end of the day, Wat is Wat. He's not a Geo, but he's used to beat them all. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the modding. One of the teams that Bunsy requested that I look at as far as modding goes is Resistance. And we're not going to look at every Resistance character, but we're going to look at the really important ones, the ones that are usually formed to make the main team. First one is Ray Jedi Train. I do like these mods already, actually just seen the sets, and I've looked into these before. Jedi Train Ray doesn't need a lot of speed because there's a lot of things she has a lot of different ways to generate turn meter and as well to strip turn meter. So it's not that big of a deal. We got crit damage here, which is very good. Health is okay. Maybe protection or potency would be better. Health here as well. Overall stats, she's a little slow. I would maybe 20 more speed, somewhere around there, and maybe more of an emphasis on protection. But overall, like I said, her kit or how her team functions has more to do with the abilities over here than it does with mods over here. So that's okay, a little bit faster. Next one we're going to look at is BB-8. And this is something that I see a little bit reoccurring on your roster, Bunsy, are these blue mods. And some of the blue mods you have are actually good. They just need to be leveled up. Like this is a good example. This has percent offense, and speed and crit chance, which is all that's good. Actually, the offense isn't super important for BB-8, but it's good in general. This mod should really be sliced, especially looking at the rest of your roster. This one has crit chance and speed. Again, that's worth slicing. You could maybe use that in someone else in the future because it has an offense primer and a cross, which is great. So a lot of these mods, this one I would probably just switch out. Not the best. But you have the sets right. You have a speed arrow. You have a speed set. He's going to go first, probably just because of how his unique works. But I would level up 2 of those blue mods and maybe get some more speed on him. This one I really like. Resistance Hero Finn. This is the one that's going to get the whole team going, whether it's Jedi Training Ray or Finn lead. Just with how his kit works and him swapping turn, he's got 100 speed. That's awesome. There are some other stats that are useful for him, but that within itself right there is very good. And I believe from our conversation, this is one of your fastest speed sets. So I like that. All of these have decent speed numbers. Triangle could be faster, but at the end of the day, what you have to work with is what you have to work with. So I like him. It's coming down the line here to Resistance Hero Poe. Again, we have some of these mods that could probably just be changed. Actually, it might be worth changing out this mod for the one that BB-8 had, although I think BB-8 had he had a crit chance. So that might be worth looking up here. Poe is your big damage dealer, but that doesn't mean you need to leave him at 216 speed. That's okay. I would recommend putting some more speed. I think you have some mods here that don't even have speed on them. Like this This circle, this should easily be switched out for something else that at least has 5 to 10 speed, just so that he can kind of get going. He got a lot of crit chance on here, which again is good for Jedi Trainer, but like again, this potency set needs to go. Change it for something else, maybe a crit chance set that also has a lot of speed going for it. So he needs to be revamped a little bit. And then I am imagining, not quite sure, maybe it's Finn you're using, but I really like R2. But R2 needs to be revamped as well. You currently have him with a speed set. Really, you want him to have an offense or health or potency sets so that he can share that due to his number crunch. And I won't even really go into the secondaries that much just because this needs to change regardless. Like he's got speed sets that don't have hardly any speed on them. Like these look like the speed set that you had that went wrong. So he just needs a complete revamp in general. Moving on to the next team, one of the other ones that you had requested was Galactic Republic. And your Galactic Republic starts strong and falls pretty hard afterwards. So we're going to go ahead and look at Padme. Padme's modded really well. Speed and health, which is the big thing for her, especially if you're wanting to use her to counter gas. Overall, 105 speed, and health could be stronger, and we'll get into that. The only suggestion I have for here, this needs to be a health arrow, or this needs to be a health triangle. Even if you're going to lose 4 or 5 speed, a health triangle will go a lot farther with her, especially with it being 16, and this one needs to be sliced. This one needs to be sliced, and maybe actually just find one that has speed on it. Because if you have a speed mod, or speed set mod without any speed secondary, that's a sell mod. It's not a mod that you keep around. So that's Padme. She, again, starting pretty strong. General Kenobi is pretty similar. You've got some protection. You've got some health. The potency, this one needs to go. He doesn't really use potency at all. This one you can actually put onto Padme. If you go ahead and put this one on Padme, she can actually benefit a lot from potency, especially that helps guard against Nest. And a few other things. It helps really get down Malik, especially if he's modded for tenacity. And General Kenobi doesn't have anything where he can use potency, so it's kind of a waste. But other than that, these protection ones aren't great. They're not bad, I mean. Health would be better, but protection isn't terrible for General Kenobi. Speed there, all 6C, love that. 3PO as well. 3PO is going pretty strong. Potency as well as health, very, very good. Could be a little bit faster, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. He gets a lot of speed from his unique, and his potency is generally high, so I like him for the most part. You do have % health here. That is very good for him, because he can benefit from the protection up, just like the rest of the Padme team. So he's good. And now, this is where we get into the real teaching, I guess you could say. Ahsoka Tano, dude, she's got white mods. Like, white mods are so bad. Like, you put white mods on pilots. I don't know if she's technically a pilot, but she's also so much more than that. And these mods, there's not really that much going on. Like, they don't even have, there's not even crit damage set here. There's not even 5 speed. Like, these are mods that should have been sold. These are mods that should not be on your characters. Yeah, all of these need to be changed out. Your set-wise, you're doing pretty good. Crit chance and offense isn't bad for her, especially, like I said, if you're using this to counter gas, she only attacks out of turn, so crit damage isn't that big of a deal, but crit chance can still be helpful when it's her turn. So yeah, all 6 of these, actually this mod isn't bad. % health, % offense set speed, that mod can stay, but the rest of these need to go. That was not terrible either. But yeah, these other 4 green and gray mods, you're hurting yourself a lot more than you're helping yourself. Even if you just put full health sets on her. Jedi Anakin, similar story, not quite as bad. He's got some good stats he actually does need. He's got some potency, he's got some speed here. This mod needs to go. Really just not a lot helping him there. This mod as well. If you're going to put mods specifically for having percentage stats, for example, % offense, % health, like this mod has, the character really needs to be relic. And I know that's not your focus right now. You're focused on resistance. But just saying, if you're going to put mods on, the mod should look more like this one that has 125 flat offense. The flat stats will do a lot more for you at year 12. And do believe a crit damage triangle. But yeah, he is good. And actually, I like offense arrow on Jedi Anakin, but he needs to have some speed. Like, all in all, you have 13 plus speed on him. That needs to be a lot higher. Maybe you're somewhere around 60. You can't rely just for someone on your team to get weakened down and for him to kill. Because right now, the only one really weak on your team is Ahsoka. And because of how her uniques work, she's really never going to go down. She's got more health. She's got more evasion. She's got more speed. She's going to have critical hit immunity. Anakin is going to be the first one on your team to die, and that's not what you want. So he really needs to be either tankier, with potency or something that really gets him going instead of just kind of sticking around waiting for him to get his bonus turn when he's not going to get it because the rest of your team is too strong. So there's Galactic Republic, and last but not least, we have Jedi. Your Jedi are doing pretty solid. I only have some minor things to say here. Jedi Knight Revan is doing good. Dude, slice these mods. Some of these are really, really good. Like 15 speed. 15 speed on a blue mod is like perfect. It has percent offense almost at its max. Like that's such a good mod. You just need to slice it. This mod's very similar. Slice it as well. This one here, not as much going on. Could probably be switched out. But other than that, your Jedi Knight Revan is really good. Just slice those two mods. Those really need to go. Bastila's modded really well. Probably almost too well, actually. You could probably use some of these mods elsewhere. She doesn't need to be this well modded, but I do like the protection, and I do like the speed on her. That's good. No real critiques there. Grandmaster Yoda is modded well as well. He's got offense, a decent amount of speed. That's really, and a crit damage triangle. That's really how you want him for a Jedi Knight Revan team because he's going to get so many turns from the turn meter just between the assists that the whole team gives. He's modded well. Jolie is almost there. Very, very close. He needs tenacity. He has his unique here. I believe it is this one. No, it's the other one. He gets 100% extra tenacity and is immune to turn meter reduction, which is great. But he also, at the start of the battle, he gains bonus crit avoidance equal to half of his tenacity. So he's going to have 100% tenacity and 50% crit avoidance already. If you're going to use him against General Grievous, you really need him to have at least 100%, if not more, crit avoidance, which means you need to get his tenacity up to well over 100%, and you're at 47. So maybe switch out the speed set for a tenacity set. Maybe switch out this protection primary for a tenacity one. But health and speed aren't bad on him. Like these stats are usable. But really, really, he needs tenacity to be able to take those big hits because once Jolie goes down a Jedi Knight Revan team, that's when the Jedi Knight Revan team really starts to fall. So that's going to be it. Just to recap, Galactic Republic, Jolie really needs tenacity / Jedi Knight Revan's mods. Galactic Republic, change out Ahsoka and Jedi Anakin's mods. Make Jedi Anakin tankier. Make Ahsoka actually useful. As far as resistance goes, you were doing well. I think really the only critique I had here was make Jedi Chain Rey a little bit faster. But other than that, pretty good for what you have to work with. I know you are in a lower division. I believe you're in Division 3, maybe crossing over to 4 here soon. Work on that Rey, finish Rey, but in the meantime, get Wat Tambor up. I know he's not fun to gear, but he's very important and he's not going anywhere. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you, Bunsy, for letting me take a look into your account. And yeah, as always, guys, stay awesome.